Okay, I kind of got what is there. You started your career in mid '80s. What is the difference in music business now and then? What is different in your opinion?
That's a really easy question. Back then, labels used to steal from the artists. Now fans steal from the artists.
And we're gonna talk about this in a minute as well, right?
No, what I mean by that is, it was funny because the record companies would basically steal everybody's money. I mean, it's just a known fact, and very few and far between. It was very hard to get a record deal, and when you finally did, labels would just steal the money. Now with all the downloading, the fans just get the music for free, and it really pisses the labels off because now they're stealing from the labels. So it's like the pot calling the kettle black. You're stealing, and they're like, really? Didn't you steal for the last 60 years or 70 years? So, and the difference is too, I think that there was a lot of virtuosity back then, and people care more about the image, meaning visual aspect of something. So right about the 80s, it went from people being more concerned and preoccupied with the music and the quality of the music, because the visual it didn't take over everything. Now everything is visually driven. They hear with their eyes. And so I think that's a big difference than then. I don't live in the past, and it's all good, but I do believe that there's a big difference there. So.
Awesome. And then we've got 90s where melodic rock wasn't cool anymore. It's kind of heartbreaking, right?
Yeah. Well, in fact, there was an album that I did. It was just a debut album called Tamplin. And I was kind of curious. A lot of people accused me of plagiarism on that one album, rightfully so, and they didn't understand the concept of the record. And if you get a copy of the album, you owe it to yourself to get a copy of a green album called Tamplin. I look like
cowboy.
A cowboy in the desert.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay, when you listen to that album, what you're gonna find, it's my other fans, hey guys, what's rocking, man? You guys doing all right? All right, these are my new Shout fans, right? Okay. And anyway, I recruit them young too, by the way, because then when they grow up, then their friends have tell friends. Anyway, no.
Scary guy.
No, but seriously, so what happened was, it was at a time when Nirvana came in and killed melodic rock. It was over, right? So what happened was, I set out to make a record just to see if it was possible to, oh my gosh, Rex Carroll, this is my buddy Rex, I gotta say hi to my friend. This is an old guitar player friend of mine. Dude, man. Oh, sorry.
That's good. You need to sit in on my set.
You do?
Yeah,
like what? What's up?
I got a song I need a backup guitar for. So
a backup guitar for?
Yeah, so you play guitar.
What song is it? We gotta get
it's like a blues song. Okay. Just one of those.
All right, okay. All right, well, just dom me in, we'll do it. Sounds good. Look at these guys, man. I haven't seen these guys in forever. Come over here. I know you guys interview. These are old. You're gonna want to interview these guys anyway.
Yeah.
So come give me a hug, man. Long time no see. Oh, okay, no worries. Good to see you, man. You guys played last night, right? Yeah. Okay, it was a good in Holland, right? Yeah, we were supposed to play the Paradiso, but like, Blizzard, like, whatever. I did, so we didn't. But anyway, it's good to see you, man. Your chops are still like better than ever, man. You know? I love it. Somebody sent me one of your recent things. Dad, come out. I'm like, Rex has just been still playing.
Every day.
I
still singing.
Oh yeah, I still sing my butt up.
You're still singing. Still playing.
But see, I went from the 6-hour-a-day thing to like, if I pick it up every other day, I'm lucky, you know. Yeah. So. It's just too much, you know. I have to make a living at something, so I'm gonna do voice and whatever. But it's good to see you guys, man. I'll get you guys upstairs. But yeah, I'd love to, man. Thank you. That'd be fun. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. Here we are again. So Rex Carroll, by the way, from White Cross and Noble Entourage.
Hello.
Literally one of the most greatest guitar players in all of Christian music, but also in the world as well. But certainly owns the Christian market. So he's a fantastic guitar player. You're gonna see him tonight. Shredder.
Oh, so that's the guy, right?
He's the Yngwie / Joe Satriani / Eric Johnson of Christian music. He used to. He shaved it all off. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Now I know.
Now you know it. All right. So anyway, he was going. You know, what happened here? You know, I'm trying to explain, and you know. So, anyway, but
I'll sit in. I'll crash your interview.
Yeah, come on over here, man. It's all good. This is a friend of my great. Oh, you know, there's another guy upstairs though. That you might want to do alternate, because there's a guy from a Dutch magazine or another German magazine or whatever. Anyway, so you can ask.
I'm Greg, by the way.
This is my buddy Greg.
How you doing? I'm
Good, man.
So
Sweet.
he has a monstrous guitar website.
Go, and I'm rolling here, and let's roll. Both cameras are rolling.
Cool.
Okay, you know what? I'll tell you something. I'm a 80s rock fan, and I very often go on YouTube to check some 80s rock bands and stuff, and I read comments of random people saying, "Bring us 80s back." Do you think rock and roll would be as big as it used to be in 80s? What is your view on that?
Well, I don't want to be a defeatist. I doubt it, only because I think that there's too many things vying for people's attention. You know, it could be a video game, it could be a movie, it could be whatever. The 80s, you go to a concert, man. You know, now you go to the latest movie or the latest video game or the latest cell phone thing or whatever. And I just think that a lot of people have a lot of attention in a lot of different versions. Now, it could be like ska or like swing music came back. It could come back like that as a fad for a minute and be really big. I don't know, and that could happen for a year, maybe even 2. But I don't think it'll come back to stay. I just.
I don't like this answer. We're gonna edit this answer. This is the wrong answer.
I'm telling you my honest, opinion. I mean, I'd love to see.
He doesn't know what he's saying. 80s are back, man. 80s are back,
I'd love to see that, and I'm not trying to be a defeatist. I'm looking at it realistically, going like where the minds of, because look at it this way too, right? And let's be candid. If virtuosity comes back and people really want to practice their guitar 6 hours a day, then it will come back.
But they actually do it because I teach guitar, and I've got a lot of guys who are into shredding, and I can see this new generation actually wanting to learn how to shred, how to play fast, how to play a bit better than some guys from Kings of Leon or bands like that.
Right. Well, so, hopefully I hope so. I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And then hopefully we will be here, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
There we go.
Okay, sir. So we were talking about this earlier, but illegal music downloads. That's another question. And let me just read this question. Okay, some people claim that music should be for free, that they shouldn't be paying for this music. What do you think about it?
Well, I think there's 2 schools of thought on it. The first school of thought is that the people that say that it would be interesting, let's say that they worked and let's say they made handkerchiefs for a living. Let's say that they made handkerchiefs and they sold their handkerchiefs on this table right here, and let's say that that for some reason they had to put a little kitty, a little bowl out that said each handkerchief was $1. $1 for a handkerchief, right? And it cost them a lot of money to make the handkerchief and a lot of time, and they took a lot of time to promote it and work their whole life to make these handkerchiefs, right? And then all of a sudden people just walk by and just, I'll take that, thank you, I'll take that, and no one pays for the handkerchiefs. How do you think they would feel if they worked their whole life to make those handkerchiefs and someone just keeps stealing the handkerchiefs? I think the only reason that people don't think of it in terms like that is because music is just, it's out there. It's not something that's a handkerchief that they saw someone make. So that's on the one hand. Okay. On the other hand, I think that technology and media technology is at a place now where it's going to be virtually impossible to stop it. So we need to, as musicians, then to be creative like we are and find other mechanisms and other ways to sell our art. See, because we have to remember one thing, right? Up until about 80 years ago, there was no such thing as selling a record. So for thousands of years, if you wrote a song, it became a song in some clan or some village or something somewhere, and maybe it's spread throughout your community, maybe it's spread throughout your whole ethnic community. But for the most part, you didn't get paid a residual on that song, right? So it's only been for the last 80 years that we've been able to encapsulate music, right, and make it tangible to sell, right? So we're sort of going back to selling live performance. We're going back to selling a performance of an artist, going back to selling, those kinds of things, and maybe that's where it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be in a place where music is to be shared, and music isn't to be, it's all mine, it's fine, it's not yours, and you pay me. Maybe it's supposed to be to inspire. Maybe it's supposed to be. See, I told you when our fans would multiply, so they multiply, right? And now we're all coming out of the produce on Manu's restaurant, right? By the way, we parked in front of a restaurant because we wanted to make you guys think that there was a lot of fans, but really it's a restaurant entrance door. So,
I mean, what I was thinking about this whole illegal downloads. People. some people have they just don't realize that we have to work.
They don't realize what goes into it.
Yeah.
And they don't realize how much money and how much blood and how much sweat and how much heart and you know the making of the handkerchiefs. You know.
And you see, often when I speak to people, they use this term. I downloaded this. They don't even say, you know, I stole it, right? So this is like
it's a euphemism for stealing.
Yeah. And you know, I wonder what to do. Or maybe what would you say to those guys? You know, just to make them realize that. Come on, you're stealing.
Well, again, I have to go back to, you know, kind of what I believe. Like my music that I've had in my past. It's a bummer, but everyone's got it and they're all just getting it for free. Now, on the other hand, my vocal academy that I have, if someone stole my DVDs, it would be a big bummer because it's my livelihood, it's how I live, and it would be a terrible thing. In fact, I'm experiencing some of that now, and I'm hoping to have to chase down some of these sites that are doing it, which have agreed to take it off. If I can find the links, so if you can help me, if someone,
yeah, sure, we're gonna help.
Find the links to some of these download sites. They said they would remove them, but yeah, it's hard because they're stealing. They don't realize they're stealing out of the mouths of the artists that are the very people they like, and they're hurting. You know. So.
And then, you know, maybe people should realize that you've got actually a family, right?
Yeah.
And you've got children, right?
But they don't think of it that way. But hopefully they will.
Okay. Okay. The next. One second.
It's hilarious, man. Come on, just roll with it. Interviews are like that. Just roll with it, man. It's all
sure,
good.
man. I mean, you know, I'm just hoping that the audio would be good enough.
Oh, yeah,
so.
well, no, you'll hear it. It'll be fine because there's not a lot of people talking. So.
Okay, let me just read it again.